placed Wolves, with not too much to play for in the remaining few games of this Premier League season, play host to currently second Arsenal, who with a win can go back to the summit of the Premier League. They have the toughest of the run-ins of the top three between Liverpool and of course Manchester City, who've just gone through to the FA Cup final and lost midweek to Real Madrid. Arsenal in the next 5 games still have Chelsea, Spurs and Manchester United to play, which means games against sides like Wolves with nothing to play for. It's all the more important that Arsenal walk away with all 3 points. 4 changes have been made to this Wolves side from the side that played against Nottingham Forest last weekend. That includes Cunha, who's out injured, and Semedo, who also joins him on the injury list. They start with Jose Sarr in goal, Santiago Bueno, Max Kilman, Totti, Matt Doherty, Boubacar Traore, João Gomez, Hugo Bueno, Tawanda Chiwera, Tommy Doyle and Hee Chan Huang, who passed the late fitness test to get himself into the starting lineup for Gary O'Neill's side, who have failed to score on just one occasion in the last 26 home games in all competitions. They're up against an Arsenal side who aim for 6 consecutive away clean sheets for the first time in their history, and the first time since Liverpool did it in the 2014 to 2015 season. They've made 3 changes themselves. Kivior, Gabriel Jesus and Leandro Trossard all make it into the starting lineup. There's no place even on the bench for Tomiyasu. Jorginho and Martinelli are dropped to the bench from the side that lost 1-0 midweek against Bayern Munich in the Champions League. So it's all attention to the Premier League for Mikel Arteta and his Arsenal side, who are looking for their first trophy since the retirement of Arsene Wenger. They start with David Raya in goal, Ben White, Saliba, Gabriel, Jakub Kivior, Martin Odegaard, Declan Rice, Kai Havertz, Bukayo Saka, Gabriel Jesus, Leandro Trossard. On the benches, Jorginho, Gabriel Martinelli, Reece Nelson, Eddie Nketiah, Thomas Partey, Aaron Ramsdale, Emile Smith-Rowe and Fabio Vieira and Alexander Zinchenko. For Wolves on the bench is Ryan Ait-Nouri, who also comes back from injury, Ty Barnett, Daniel Bentley, Nathan Fraser, Fletcher Holman, Mario Lemina, Temple Ojinaka, Wesley Okudua and Pablo Sarabia. So for Arsenal, it's all attention onto the Premier League. No FA Cup distractions, no Champions League distractions for them. And they go with a 4-3-3 formation that starts Raya in goal, White on the right-hand side, Kivior on the left, Saliba and Gabriel playing as the 2 centre-halves, Odegaard, Rice and Havertz as the midfield 3, Saka on the right-hand side, Trossard on the left, and Gabriel Jesus playing as the lone striker. For Wolves, it's Sarr in goal, and then a back 3 of Bueno, Kilman and Totti, with Doherty playing on the right wing and Bueno playing out on the left. Traore and Gomez as the 2 midfielders, then Chirera and Doyle will play just behind Huang. So without the top goal scorer and not too much to play for in the Premier League for Wolves, it'll just be about trying to get that momentum ready heading in towards next season. They've lost 3 of the last 5 league games, and they've struggled in form against Arsenal, who are vying for a 6th consecutive win against Wolves in the Premier League. And Arsenal have scored in each of the last 32 games where they've gone up against Wolves. Liverpool, of course, play tomorrow in Manchester City in FA Cup action, which means that regardless, if Arsenal can get a win today, they will be at the top of the Premier League come the close of play for this weekend. Manchester City will have a game in hand, and with only 5 games left after today, for Arsenal, it is all hands on deck. The difference between this and last season, not too many injury worries that they've had to take in towards the back end of this season. Jurrien Timber is a long-term injury for those, and he's just missing out on today's game, and he's due back soon. No other injury worries for Arsenal. It's only picking up and getting worse for Wolves. But in 11th place at the moment, they are clear of a relegation battle that currently consists of the likes of Luton, Burnley, Nottingham Forest and Everton, sides of which they can be facing in the course of the next couple of weeks. As the players make their way out onto the Molineux field, Arsenal will just have a little chat with themselves in a little circle on their own half, and will prepare for kick-off at Molineux. Martin Odegaard with the armband for the visitors. Max Kilman once again wearing the armband for Wolves. And the chat between Mikel Arteta and Gary O'Neill, who have been familiar with each other from their playing days. Both made plenty of appearances in the Premier League. Arteta, of course, during his time at Manchester City and at Arsenal, have a lot of experience in title races, championship contention. It's Wolves that will get things underway for us in the orange tops and the black shorts, kicking off from right to left. Arsenal in the red and white. The referee for today's game is Paul Tierney. with John Brooks in charge of VAR. And on the whistle of Tierney, we are underway, and the ball is played straight back to midfield, and it's put out onto the right-hand side in search of Chiriwa. It's gone out of play, and it's going to be a throw-in to Arsenal just inside their own half at the moment. And over to take it is Leandro Trossard. Kai Havertz has moved into a midfield role with the dropping of Jorginho onto the bench. The throw-in's taken central for Declan Rice, then out onto the right-hand side for Ben White as he ventures into Wolves' half. Ball onto the left-hand side now finds Trossard just outside of the area. He is closed down by Gomez as he plays the ball back, this time to Kivior, who puts the ball into the box, and the effort from Havertz goes low and hard, and Sarr holds onto it inside the 6-yard box. Opening minute, and Arsenal have got possession back from the kick-off immediately. Got the ball straight into Wolves' area, and Havertz, who had to wrap his foot around Totti to get to the ball, managed to direct it goalwards, but Sarr's equal to it. Drop kick out of his hands, goes up towards Kivior again, who heads this down now for Havertz, plays it across onto the right-hand side for Saliba. Now for Ben White. Right, with quick football to Havertz, finds Saka, who's gone down under a challenge, and the free kick's been given this time against Totti, with quite a tough challenge through the back of Bukayo Saka. He's just slow to get back to his feet. There was a short pass being made from midfield to get to Saka, and Saka had to rush back to get to the ball. He brought down to the floor. It's going to be a free kick to Arsenal on the right hand side, and White goes straight back to Saliba. Goes across to Gabriel and back to Saliba again, now to Ben White on the right hand side. Now finds Saka, still under pressure at that point by Totti. Goes back to Ben White, looks down the line for Havertz. Havertz holds this up. Quick through ball for him to be chased down onto the right hand side, still by Odegaard. Odegaard gets to the ball. He's surrounded by multiple Wolves players inside of Wolves' half. Goes down under the challenge, and nothing's being given as the ball is played back to Sarr just inside his 6-yard box. No pressure from him. Plays it out short to Kilman. Goes back to Sarr again inside the 6-yard box as Arsenal now start to pile on the pressure. Onto the left hand side. Clearance has been made by Bueno. Down the line it does find Chiriwa. Plays the ball back now to Totti. Totti again going back central to Kilman. Kilman switches play onto the right hand side. Finds in space Doherty, who is closed down quickly by Kivior. Has to go back into his own half. Still Odegaard around him. Tries to play the ball central, but Jesus intercepts. Gives the ball off now to Havertz. Havertz gives the ball back to Jesus at the halfway line. He's under pressure. Goes back to Saliba, out the centre circle, now over to Ben White on the right hand side, under pressure still. Wolves trying to put the pressure on Arsenal players as soon as they've got the ball, force some errors out of this Arsenal defence. Not mathematically out of contention for a European place, but realistically there is a lot of work to do, and they must win out every game of this season from Wolves if they are to qualify for any sort of European competition. As White gets the ball back on the right hand side, takes it into Wolves' half, finds Saka down the line. Saka closed down now by Kilman. Goes back to the edge of the area with Odegaard, looks for Ben White, but it's intercepted again, and Wolves will work their way out from the back. Now with Totti, clearance has been blocked, falls back to Totti again, then Odegaard's in there to intercept this time. Saka's pass has pinballed back to him, and eventually Wolves will have another chance to clear their lines. Totti inside the area, chooses to go back instead. Arsenal will regain shape. Now Doherty gets the ball on the right hand side. Closed down by Trossard. Pass inside's being intercepted again. Declan Rice gives it back to Jesus. Jesus' effort goes goalwards. It's weak and it's just wide. It's going to be a goal kick to Wolves. The urgency from Arsenal showing the signs in the opening 4 minutes. Hasn't taken long. As soon as Wolves are in possession, they're forced to have to go back with the ball, but then any sort of outlet they're trying to get, Arsenal are equal to it. With Chelsea on midweek game and then Tottenham next weekend, it's two very tough back-to-back fixtures for Arsenal. Ball kick taken by Sarr. Up in the direction of Hwang, who brings this down, and is still Arsenal players surrounding him as he's forced to go back into his own half, and it's now with Doherty, who goes all the way back to his goalkeeper just outside the area. Doherty gets possession, pass back inside. Now just outside the area on the right hand side, Wolves still with possession. Kilman gets the ball and goes into the area now to give the ball to Gomez. Down to the left hand side for Totti again. And back to Sarr. Wolves being forced to play about with the ball inside their own area at the moment, and the pressure then from Arsenal is really forcing the clearances, and then Arsenal able to get possession as they get a free kick, this time just inside Wolves' half. Going up for the challenge was Gabriel, and still down on the floor at the moment is Wang. He went up for the challenge with the Arsenal centre-back. It looks like he might have just brought Gabriel down to the floor, tripping him up as he tried to get there to clear the ball. Wang feels that he's the one that should have the free kick, but it's been given against him on this occasion. Referee Paul Tierney opts against giving him a booking, despite his disputes that Arsenal get the free kick. It's taken short to Declan Rice, now to Ben White. Back into Arsenal's half, forced all the way back to David Raya. Nice pass to Rice again, into the left hand side now for Gabriel. Gabriel's making the run down the wing, he gives it short to Odegaard. Goes back onto the right hand side now. Again, now for Ben White. Takes it into Wolves' half by giving the ball to Saka, gets the ball back from him. Pass inside this time, finds Rice in space at the centre circle. Declan Rice puts the ball onto the left hand side now. It's been passed by Kivior for Trossard. Trossard's ball into the box, searches for Gabriel Jesus, but it's going to go all the way through to Jose Sarr, who will collect the ball at his feet inside his 6-yard box. I think Jesus may have been offside, but he was moving back into an onside position as the ball went through to the Wolves goalkeeper. Passes this now out left for Kilman. Gets the ball back. Traore coming short this time, but instead opts to go to Kilman. Kilman again forced to go back, though he had space to run into pushing forward, but the closing down from Odegaard, I don't think he felt comfortable with the distance that he had from the Arsenal captain, and forced to go back to his goalkeeper again. He now gets the ball on the left hand side, looks for the pass into space, but Ben White's equal to it, tries to watch it through for David Raya and nearly gives an opportunity to Wolves, but Raya's alert to it and comes out of the area to get there. Just applauds his full-back as well. Now Saliba. Chirira making moves, getting close to him. He's forced to go onto the left hand side now for Gabriel again. Now back to Saliba. Saliba's pass inside for Odegaard. Looks for Saka on the right hand side. Saka is in space. It's quickly closed down though by Totti as he tries to beat him. Keeps the ball on the right hand side. Just manages to bring the ball back in time for Ben White. Now central for Declan Rice. Rice across to Kivior. Now to Trossard outside of the area. Trossard's ball into the box, headed away. It's going to be a throw-in for Arsenal on the left hand side, deep inside Wolves territory. Everybody moving back in a unit for the host to try and help defend this. Options in the middle as Kai Havertz moves closer into the area. Gabriel Jesus is the option that he goes for, though, just on the edge of the area. Gives this to Declan Rice. First touch is too heavy, under a lot of pressure, forced to go all the way back to Saliba. Passes this across to Gabriel, and back to Saliba again, still inside Wolves' half. Now Ben White to Saka, and back to Ben White again. Now to Saka. And once again to Saliba, finds Declan Rice. Goes back to the halfway line with Gabriel, and then gives it to Ben White. Pass inside this time is brought short by Martin Odegaard, who twists and turns on the ball, gives it to Gabriel Jesus, now finds Havertz, passes it one over for Kivior, now finds Trossard on the left hand side. He's got space as he takes it into Wolves area, past Doherty, cross goes in towards the back post, Saka jumps up and heads it goalwards, but it's held well by Sarr. And that's the first real chance for Arsenal. Cross comes in from Trossard on the left hand side. They created a good break, had Wolves back in numbers, but they couldn't quite get back quick enough. Saka went up and won the header against Totti and managed to direct it goalwards, and I think making a run in there was Gabriel Jesus as well, as it was caught by Sarr. Rolled it out now to Kilman. Kilman's pass to Doyle. Now to Chirira. Switches it onto the right hand side. In space is Doherty. Doherty's quick 1-2, brings it inside now, takes it back into his own half with a pass. This time to Totti. Now for Bueno. And Totti once again. Now giving it to Kilman. Now it's Wolves' turn to hold on to possession, see how long they can keep possession for this time. They've not been able to keep it for long periods because Arsenal, with their press, has forced Wolves into their own half and then forced the ball upfield that Arsenal are getting first to every time. And from around the halfway line, Wolves have been forced into their own area. As Sarr passes this out to Kilman now. Kilman's long ball goes towards Wang as it's been headed down for Ben White, who's gone down under a push. Wins the free kick from Bueno just beside the touchline on this right hand side. Referee's just telling him it's further away from the touchline as Wang was the one they were searching for. This goes back from the free kick now to Saliba. Saliba back to Ben White again. Down the line to Saka. And back to White. Under pressure. Goes back this time to Saliba, who dribbles it past one and starts to make his way out. Finds Ben White in space down the right hand side. Brings it inside, looks for Saka. Gives it to Odegaard instead. Odegaard goes down at the halfway line. No free kick given despite protest from Arsenal. Pass on to the left hand side now for Totti. A chance for Wolves to make a break into Arsenal's half. They've just had to slow things down because Arsenal are quick back in numbers again. Now a chance with Doyle in the middle of the park. Pass finds Hwang. Under pressure, goes back again. To Doyle, onto the right hand side. Finds Doherty. And back to Doyle again. The halfway line. His pass goes across to Kilman. Kilman with quick 1-2s in the centre circle. It was a weak pass back to him and it forced Odegaard to be alert, but allowed Wolves to get the ball out quickly as well. Now Doherty gets in on the right hand side again. Pass central for Gomez. Taken up to the halfway line. Gomez finds Hwang. He goes down under a challenge and wins a free kick just inside Arsenal's half. Taken quickly by Wolves onto the right hand side now in space is Doherty again. Not many options in the middle. In fact, they're equal with the Arsenal area and not one Wolves player is in the box. As Wolves are now being forced to go back again. They're making their way forward. They're just not able to really do anything from that point as Kilman gets the ball inside the centre circle onto the left hand side for Totti. Closed down by Saka. Pass goes further onto the left hand side for Bueno and it's forced back to Totti again, who has to go all the way back to Kilman, who's deep inside his own half. Nice build up play now for Wolves for a moment, but he'll be forced to go back again. Now Traore twisting and turning in the middle, gets away from Odegaard, but even then he's forced to go back with the ball. Now it's with Sarr just outside the area. Pass again made to Bueno. And back to Sarr again. Sarr's ball to Doherty on the right hand side is intercepted this time by Kivior. Gets the ball back on the left hand side. Cross goes in towards Jesus, cleared, and it's going to be a throw in for Arsenal. Kivior and Trossard working nicely down that left hand side. The throw in is taken quickly by Havertz to Trossard. Arsenal trying to keep that pressure on Wolves at the moment. Trossard pays it across to Saliba, now to White. And back to Saliba. Every Arsenal player bar Raya currently inside Wolves' half. Ben White again with the ball on the right hand side. Gives it to Saka. Saka goes back to White again. And now Saliba. Now Gabriel. Then Kivior. Into Gabriel again, and now Saliba passes inside to Rice, then across to Ben White. White's pass inside to Havertz. Now finds Odegaard. Still has Havertz making the run. Down on the right hand side he finds Saka in space as well. Saka continues his press into Wolves territory just outside the area onto his favoured left foot. Sets up as if he's going for a shot. Instead gives this to Declan Rice. Rice now onto the left hand side for Trossard. Inside the penalty area. Onto his right foot. Back to Declan Rice. Sends it scorewards. It's a low effort but it's held by Sarr at his near post. We'll just allow things to slow down for Wolves. This opening 15 minutes they've not really, I don't think they've had the touch of the ball inside Arsenal's area at the moment. They really need to be scoring from inside the area. They're the only team in Europe's top 5 divisions that have not yet scored a goal from outside of the area this season. Really doesn't bode well for them, struggling to get the ball into Arsenal's box at the moment. Short pass then forced clear, headed away this time by Ben White. Back helping out is Odegaard again. Goes back to Declan Rice, who's got space and time just outside of his area. Passes this onto the left hand side for Kivior. Kivior now finds Trossard inside Arsenal's half still at the moment. Trossard's long ball is going to be chased down by Havertz. Heads it over now to Gabriel Jesus. Lasers off for Odegaard. On the edge of the area, Odegaard's effort goes wide. It's going to be another goal kick to Wolves. Poor effort from Martin Odegaard. I think he felt rushed with a couple of Wolves players making the way back. But nice one-touch football from Arsenal. First from Havertz, then from Jesus, and then it fell to Odegaard quite favourably. Just got too much on the ball, and I think it was actually, just looking at the replay, Traore got there just in time, and he managed to get a touch on the ball, which knocked it away from Havertz, and meant he had to hit that difficultly. And then couldn't quite direct it on target. Ball kick onto the left-hand side now for Totti. Goes back to Kilman, all the way back to his goalkeeper again. Just outside the 6-yard box, so does have the ball, passes it inside now out into the right hand side for Doherty. Lays this off for Bueno. Goes back inside now for Gomez. Gomez to Kilman. Kilman's pass for Traore, goes back to Kilman. Ball forward, headed up by Declan Rice, won the second time, looks for Bukayo Saka but can't quite get there in time, and Wolves get possession back as Kilman goes back to Sarr again. Just outside of his area at the moment, waiting for that Arsenal pressure, doesn't get it, and he goes short instead this time to Traore, who passes it out to Kilman, waits for the pressure of Odegaard, and then goes on to the right hand side for Bueno. Then goes back to his goalkeeper again. Arsenal really aren't allowing Wolves out of their own half with the ball at the moment. Goes short to Kilman. Kilman's pass intercepted by Havertz. Can he get there quick enough? He does, and he plays the ball through to Jesus, and it's too heavy, and Sarr's out to it again. And they're the mistakes that Arsenal are trying to force Wolves into at the moment. 17 minutes gone at Molineux. It is Wolves 0, Arsenal 0. Arsenal, despite having the majority of the possession, haven't really been able to create anything too clear-cut just yet. Ball up has been won this time on the right-hand side. It's still with Wolves into the area. It goes to Hwang, who sends this goalwards, and it is collected by David Raya, who's got the ball in his hands for the first time today. Rolls it out now to Declan Rice. He was under quick pressure there from Traore. Goes down the right-hand side for Saka, who's gone down under the challenge of Totti and wins a free kick again inside his own half. He was making his way back towards his own goal. The free kick is going to be taken by Ben White. Who again looks down the line. 4 options, got Odegaard alongside him. Now Arsenal start moving away as it looks like it's going to be Saliba that takes the free kick. Saliba's pass inside, finds Gabriel Jesus. Saliba gets the ball back again on the right hand side. Under pressure now from Chirivella. Forced to go back to Gabriel Jesus, who's the second furthest player back for Arsenal at the moment. He seems to have settled into a right back role since that free kick's been taken. Goes back to Raya again. He stayed out on the right hand side as Raya plays it across the penalty area, and if Hwang managed to get there in time, he's got an open goal to go at. But he gets all the way to Kivior on the left hand side. Now gives it to Declan Rice. It's going to be a foot race between him and Doyle. Takes it into Wolves' half at the moment as Havertz starts to make a run. Saka is out on the right hand side still, and Trossard's available in the middle. Gives it to Gabriel Jesus still on the right hand side. There are options for Arsenal in the box. Opts go towards Trossard. It's gone all the way through. Making a late run at the back post is Kivior, just outside the area. Gives it to Trossard. Still outside the area, tries to beat a couple of players. It falls to Odegaard. Inside now to Havertz. Lays this off to Trossard. Still a chance for Arsenal. Inside the area, plays it back for Rice, who sends it into the bottom corner, and it's just wide. Wonderful build-up play for Arsenal, but still, the execution in the final third is just lacking for the visitors. Kai Havertz getting the ball just outside the 6-yard box, then giving it to Trossard, and lining that up for Declan Rice, who just dragged it slightly wide. He had a couple of chances from just outside the area as the England international. It's going to be a goal kick again now for Jose Sarr. Declan Rice currently going through his best season for both goals and assists. 6 goals this season and 5 assists so far. Contributed quite a lot to Arsenal in midfield role. Now throwing for Wolves inside Arsenal's half on the right hand side. Doherty is across to take it. Not got too many options for him though. Arsenal still holding these chances out defensively as he's forced to throw it back into his own half now to Bueno, who goes central for Kilman. The pressure now from Trossard, goes out onto the left hand side for Totti. It's passed now to Bueno. Down the line he finds Chiriewe. Goes back to Totti again, now back into their own area with Kilman. Across to Sarr, who's forced clearance, goes up towards the middle of the park, and Gabriel's there as well as Saliba. Saliba lets it bounce multiple times before clearing his lines. Flicked on by Saka into a channel with no Arsenal players. Lines have been cleared again, and now another chance for Wolves. It's with Hwang in the middle of the park. Pass goes short, and it's been intercepted, but quickly won back as well in the middle of the park by Gomez. He's done really well to hold on to possession and find the pass out onto the left hand side. And the quick 1-2 that was tried between Bueno and Chiriewe wasn't successful. It's gone out of play for an Arsenal throw-in. He's expecting the run from Bueno and wasn't committing that support down the line. Throwing now for Ben White, just in front of the technical area. Mikel Arteta alongside him, heading up towards the halfway line. Throw goes down the line in the direction of Jesus, who lets this run, but quick back helping is Traore. Goes back to his goalkeeper. Sarr gets the ball inside his area once again. Jesus just taking back his position as passes that are forced out short. Arsenal are quick to get to. Back down at left hand side, now pass inside again, space to move into. And quite a bit of space, drops the ball off now onto the left hand side. Bueno gets the ball just inside Wolves' half, forced to go back to Totti again. Now back to Kilman. Kilman just outside the area, passes it across to Bueno. Now to Doyle. Doyle's pass inside for Traore, out onto the right hand side again for Doherty. He finds support by the touchline and goes all the way back once again. Now Doyle gets it, going up towards the centre circle inside Wolves' half. Pass on the left hand side. Now the pass down the touchline and goes towards Totti, who keeps it in play. Calls from Arsenal saying that's going out of play for a throw in. The flag stayed down and things will continue as Kilman gets the ball and plays it back onto the left hand side now for Totti. Kilman again getting the ball back. Inside pass to Doyle, who spreads this onto the right hand side. In space at the moment is Doherty. Plays this short and makes his run down the wing, but Wolves again forced into their own half. As Gomez gets the ball, takes it up towards the halfway line. Waiting for that Arsenal press and trying to create some space themselves. Now Hwang gets the ball, has space to move into. Excellent work now between Hwang and Chiriewe. Chiriewe gets on the edge of the area. His effort goes goalwards, but it's comfortable enough for David Raya to hold on to. And that was some sort of attack from Wolves. Nice little build-up between Hwang and Chiriewe. Chiriewe manages to dribble it past Rice, and as the cross goes in, it looked like it takes a deflection off Rice that sends it goalwards, but David Raya can get to it. Now it's with Ben White on the right-hand side. Looks for Saka down the right-hand side, who can't get to it. It's going to be a throw-in just inside Wolves' half on the left-hand side for Totti. He goes across to take it. Filling is almost like a left-back at times, is Totti throughout the course of this game. Now goes all the way back to his goalkeeper. As Trossard and Jesus move away. Passes it out now to Kilman. Kilman finds Doyle in space. Still now got Odegaard alongside him and goes sideways to Traore inside Wolves' half at the moment. Back across to Doyle. Doyle then closed down by Odegaard and goes back to Kilman. Wolves playing very dangerously at the moment. Arsenal managed to capitalise on any sort of error that Wolves get, and they're in a very dangerous position as now pass forward is broken out by Saliba. Given to Kivior, quick effort there from Doherty to win possession back, but then his pass goes to nobody and it's won back in the middle of the park by Odegaard, who goes back to Saliba again. Wolves did win the ball back, but it seemed to be their own error that gifted possession back to Arsenal. Saliba gets it back on the right hand side. Now to Odegaard. Odegaard to Gabriel. Gabriel with space to move into, takes it up towards the halfway line. And goes across to Saliba again. And to Ben White. White's pass to Rice. Rice just through ball. It's going to be chased down by Saka on the right hand side. Chance for Arsenal. Looks to bring this back to Havertz. It's fallen back to Saka again. Now to Odegaard inside the penalty area. He's got the ball caught up within his feet and it's won back by Traore. And a chance for Wolves to break goes begging as quickly getting back to the ball is Gabriel. And now it's with Kivior on the left hand side. Pass finds Trossard. That was a great chance for Arsenal that Saka really should have done better with and maybe even got a shot on target himself. Now Trossard's pass goes back to Gabriel again. Then to Havertz, now to Rice. Inside Wolves' half, across to Ben White. Now to Saka, just outside the area. Gives it to Odegaard. Now back to Ben White, takes it into the area, plays this across towards Trossard. It's been cleared eventually though by Doyle. It's going to go all the way through to Raya at the halfway line. And plays the ball back now to Gabriel. Now across to Rice, now to Odegaard. Inside Wolves' half, now to Ben White. Back into the middle for Havertz. Havertz then to Saka, who's moved into the middle of the park himself. He's under pressure and might lose out on possession here. He's won his side of throw-in, but may have had a better chance to do something more. But it was Wang that's back helping out defensively that conceded that throw-in. It's been taken down the line to Havertz, who heads it back to Saka. Now goes back to Saliba again. Across to Gabriel, now back to Saliba. Now to White. By the touchline on the right hand side. Odegaard is another option for him. He's found the run there of Saka. Saka's ball across the face of goal has been cleared. And it's going to be out for another throw in to Arsenal. This time on the right hand side in line with the goalkeeper's area. Thrown back quickly to Saliba. He was passed to Rice. Has to go quickly back to Saliba. He's under pressure in the middle from Chiriewa. Then across to Gabriel again. Now to Odegaard. Odegaard's pass to Saka. Arsenal just holding on to possession inside Wolves' half at the moment. Saliba looks down the line for Ben White. It's going to be too heavy of a pass and it's going to go out of play for a Wolves goal kick. Reaching the half-hour mark and Arsenal haven't really had any clear-cut chances. They've just been trying to find a way through at the moment and Wolves have set themselves up nicely defensively just to hold on to things. Something we've seen a lot of sides do up against the likes of Arsenal, Manchester City and Liverpool throughout the course of this season. Just set up to defend for the course of the 90 minutes and see if you can find yourselves a break at the other end. It's worked for a couple of sides this season, not many though. The goal kick is to be taken by Sarr. Goes up towards Wang again, won by the head of Havertz. Trying to win the header is Jesus, but he doesn't quite get to it in time. It's gone all the way through. It's back to Sarr again with the ball at his feet. Again looks up towards Wang. Finds himself in space on that right hand side. Flicks the ball onto Gomez, who goes down under a challenge from Trossard. Wants a free kick. I think he's going to get himself a free kick there as well, as Trossard gets himself a yellow card for his troubles. Gomez brings the ball down and starts chasing down that right hand side. I think he got the run on Trossard as well. Trossard just pulled him to the floor and I don't think he was catching up with Gomez as he was making his way through. But the first yellow card of the afternoon does go to Leandro Trossard. That's on that left hand side, been used more as, or been more, had more success this season as a substitute, at least in terms of his goal contribution. Free kick now in a very dangerous position for Wolves if they can get the ball into the box. Players making their way forward. Kilman, Totti all in the area at the moment. Doherty lurking at the back post. Cross is going to go in towards the middle. It's headed towards the back post where Doherty finds himself on the edge of the area. Gives this ball off to Traore. Traore's cross goes in. It's been headed away this time by Jesus. Back in the direction of Traore. Heads it more central. Quick to get there is Hwang, but it's been cleared by Rice. It's going to go all the way through this time to Bueno, who goes back to his goalkeeper. While Havertz continues that press. That long ball up looks for Hwang, but it's been headed away by Gabriel and now won back on the right hand side by Gomez, who takes it into the area. Chance now for Wolves. Sends it goalwards and it's pushed away from the bar. And lines have then been cleared. It's still on the left hand side though with Wolves. And a very good chance to give themselves the lead at that point. Onto the left-hand side for Bueno again. Flicked away this time by Saka. Chased down the right-hand side by Odegaard. Looking for Havertz, making the run through the middle, but he's closed down by multiple Wolves players and wins back a free kick at the middle of the park. That was the chance for Wolves, making his way down that right-hand side. Gomez had the run on Kivior and on Trossard throughout the course of this first half. Only on a couple of occasions as he really needed to, but he's managed to get ahead of Kivior. It was very weak from the Arsenal full-back. Shouldn't have allowed Gomez to get through that easily. As Gomez took it into the area, into the 6-yard box. Looks like the ball was destined for the goal, but Raya does well to react quickly and push the ball onto the crossbar. The ball goes away. White now plays it back to Raya, who sends the ball upfield first time of asking. Been cleared by Kilman. Brought down now though by Chiriewe. He passes the ball to Doyle. Goes back to Totti. All starting to liven up a little bit, just reminding Arsenal that their attack is still there as Kilman goes back to Sarr now, just outside the area. Sarr's clearance onto the right hand side has too much power on it. It's going to be an Arsenal throw-in just inside their own half at the moment. He's going across to take it is Kivior. There's the ball down for Gabriel, who gives it across now to Saliba and gets the ball back at the centre circle. Got Rice ahead of him, goes back to Saliba again. Now to White on the right hand side. His clearance down the line, he's going to be chased down by Saka. He's got the run on Totti again. Totti's quick to make up the ground. As Saka just being held on to at the moment outside the area. Manages to turn around Totti, and I think we're going to see another yellow card. And it is going to be a yellow card to Totti now, just outside the area. And rightly so, he's been holding on to Saka for the last few moments. Just while Saka brought the ball down, he had a chance to get a breakaway. He did get away from Totti multiple times in that little breakaway, but Totti just wasn't letting go. He'd got his arms wrapped around the waist of Saka. Not disputing the free kick, but disputing the decision to award him with a yellow card. Now in a very dangerous position. Odegaard is stood over the ball. We know he can do something from this sort of distance, around about 25 yards out, further on the right hand side though, so left-footed cross might come in towards the back post as Saliba and Gabriel make their way into the area now. Odegaard is stood over the ball alone. Havertz just makes his way into the area as well. Lurking on the edge of the area is Ben White and Declan Rice. Odegaard prepares to take the free kick, stops once, and then on the second attempt sends the ball into the box. It's been cleared, only as far as Odegaard again, puts it onto the right hand side this time for Saka. Goes back to Odegaard. Sets it up on his left foot, plays it across this time to Kivior. Now finds Rice, back to Kivior. Chipped ball over onto the left hand side for Jesus. Can't quite get his foot on it well enough, and it's out of play for a goal kick now to Wolves again. Survived well for 33 minutes, this Wolves defence, just limiting Arsenal to any sort of chances. Got to be careful now. The referee started handing out these yellow cards though. Last thing they need is seeing themselves fall to a player down. Especially against an Arsenal side that will certainly make them pay for it. Goal kick taken by Sarr. Headed away. And as far as Havertz. Again sent central but cleared this time by Totti. To the right hand side for Ben White. Nice football between him and Saliba. Gets the ball back into Wolves' half. Pass is a bit too heavy for Odegaard, but Havertz gets there first. Goes down under the challenge. He looks like he's in a lot of pain, but the referee's waved play on advantage for Arsenal. Saka takes it into the area. His cross has been blocked only as far as the edge of the area, and there's still a chance now for Wolves to create a break. As Havertz is still down in pain, he's got his arm up in the air saying that he feels like he should come off, but Wolves are continuing to push forward. They're carrying on playing despite the fact that Arsenal have a player down, and now under the challenge Wolves will win a free kick, and Declan Rice will receive a yellow card for his efforts. The referee never told Arsenal to stop playing, and both Trossard and Rice felt that maybe they should have stopped playing, but Arsenal continued with the ball whilst Havertz was down injured originally, so there was going to be that question asked. Max Kilman's also received a yellow card for that challenge on Kai Havertz. It looks like a very nasty challenge as well, so the play has not been brought back because of course, advantage that was given. It is a free kick to Wolves inside Arsenal's half, but Havertz, who went down, the challenge was over the ball and into the ankle of Kai Havertz. I wouldn't be surprised if we've seen his last contribution in this game. That's Declan Rice with a yellow card and Max Kilman with a yellow card on the back of that break of play. Mikel Arteta calls his players over just whilst the physio checks on Kai Havertz. It was Hwang that was injured, or brought down to the floor, should I say, by Declan Rice in the counter-attack that Wolves were creating. He's back to his feet. And just inside Arsenal's half, Wolves will have a free kick of their own as Havertz has just been seen to by the physio. He looked like he was in a lot of pain. His arm was up in the air and he was waving about, saying that he felt that he needed a bit more attention, but Arsenal continued playing even at that point. And then when Wolves got the ball back, Arsenal was hoping for the ball to be put out of play. Wolves opted not to do so. Might have just had a bit more life into this matchup between the two sides, which we'll wait for when the free kick does get back underway. But in the space of the last 5 minutes, we've had 4 yellow cards shown, and Paul Tierney has now taken a handle of this game as Havertz leaves the field with the assistance of the physio. Looks like he's going to be allowed back onto the field, and he's going to be able to come back onto the field. Mikel Arteta's just checking on if Havertz needs to come off or not. It could be Doyle that takes the free kick 2 yards into Arsenal's half. Cross goes over towards Doherty at the back post, heads this on. It's going to be a throw into Arsenal just in front of the corner flag on the left hand side. Havertz waits to be waved back onto the field. He's currently on the opposite side of the field to where the ball is being played from. Arsenal are wanting him back on. Though in has been taken, goes all the way across now to Saliba, whose clearance has been a poor one. It's fallen to Hwang on the edge of the area. Effort goes goalwards, and Arsenal nearly gifted Wolves a goal. This time the throw-in was made to Saliba from around about 8 yards out. His pass was a very poor one. He'd got the option of Ben White alongside him. I'm not quite sure why he opted not to use him. Instead he tried the clearance out onto the right hand side, but Bueno was equal to it, intercepted the ball back for Wolves. But Havertz is now back on the field, and Arsenal have themselves a goal kick that is to be taken by Gabriel. Passes it short to Raya, and as the Wolves press continues, he then sends the ball up towards Havertz, headed away only as far as Declan Rice, who puts it back into Wolves' half. And then quick build-up play by Wolves. Doherty nearly gets to the ball on the right-hand side, but it's been cleared by Kivior. Back into Wolves' half, brought down now by Jesus, goes back into Arsenal's half on the left-hand side. And to Kivior, finds Trossard in space though. Trossard's got plenty of space to move into the opposition half. Takes it into the area, and his cross goes into the hands comfortably of Sarr. He'd got Saka making a run at the back post. He'd got Jesus making a run in the middle. And it's gone all the way through. And Trossard was actually being kept on side by Kilman. Totti looked over his shoulder to see Saka, but Saka had moved away and created a bit more space at the back post. So good cross from Trossard, and we could be looking at a very different scoreline. But we're going to the final 7 minutes of regular time of this first half, with Wolves leading by with the score as goalless at the moment, but Wolves with the best opportunity of the first half. Pass on to the left hand side now for Bueno, as there's a Wolves player down on the right hand side with his hand up in a lot of pain. Now Kilman gets the ball just outside the area, puts his hands up to say he's putting the ball out of play, and we've got another player down injured, another break in play. 39 minutes gone at Molineux. Wolves 0, Arsenal 0, the scoreline at the moment. Just looking at the challenge that was made, it was Gabriel that looked like he'd stood on the ankle there of Gomez, who is now back to his feet. Didn't need the physio to come onto the field, so he is back to his feet now, just limping away from where it took place. Arsenal have had 9 touches inside Wolves' box in the last 15 minutes. Only one of those shots has come from it. Throw made, goes all the way back to Sarr. The game will resume. Rolls it out to Kilman. Now onto the left hand side for Totti. Totti's passed down the line, looks for Chiriwa. Gives the ball to Hwang. Into the middle now for Doyle. Out onto the right hand side for Doherty, who's got himself in space. He's eventually closed down though by Kivior. Brings the ball back inside. And lays the ball off to the edge of the area. And Doyle goes back across. Now to Doherty. Looks to get the ball back. Being chased down at the moment. Bueno goes in towards the corner. It's out of play for a goal kick. Gomez didn't look like he could contribute too much. He was still limping away. Might be a substitution that we see from Wolves at half time if it lasts until half time. He's just trying to run it off, but whilst he's making his way into the area, he's making it very slowly and with a bit of a limp as well. Gabriel now with the goal kick. Pass short to Ryan. Now onto the right hand side again for White. White's pass inside for Jesus inside his own half. Tries his best to get away from his marker. Does well to do so. Gives the ball now to Saka. Saka makes his way into Wolves' half. He's got Ben White with an overlap. Making his way now into the area as Saka keeps the ball close to his feet. Gives it back to Saliba. And then Saka gets the ball back again on the right hand side. Saka now again to White. Back to Saliba. And now Saka inside Wolves' half. And Arsenal get a goal just before half time as Odegaard goes down under a challenge. Nothing's been given on this occasion and Wolves with a chance to break. Now it's with Hwang at the halfway line. Looks onto the right hand side. There's a slip there from Trossard, but he may have been able to get there first had he not gone down to ground. Havertz this time goes in for the challenge with Hwang, and a free kick has been given to Wolves. And I think Havertz may have just caught his foot on the calf of Hwang. Free kick has been taken quickly by Traore. Back to Bueno, now back to Kilman. Outside his area, Kilman now goes back to Sarr. Sarr's pass, quick 1-2 between him and Doyle, and now he's under pressure as well. Forced to go on to the left hand side again for Kilman, who is still under pressure from Odegaard. His clearance has been forced, it's headed away by Saliba. Saliba wins the second header as well down the line, in towards Odegaard, who's gone down under a challenge, but no free kick has been given. I think that's the right decision as well. I think it was more on the landing as he was going to go up for the header. Now with Hwang, looks down the left hand side, plays the ball down for Bueno. He's going to be chased down by Ben White just outside the area. Bueno with the ball, he's got options in the box if he can get the ball in towards the back post. Headed away by Kivior. It's going to be chased down by Jesus, who gets there first. And back to Gabriel, who clears the lines for Arsenal. Nervy times at the moment defensively as Wolves start to make themselves a presence within Arsenal's half. It was a case of just sit back and hold on to the pressure that Arsenal were throwing, but they seem to be creating bits themselves now, do the hosts. Not ready to just roll over to currently second in the Premier League. Pass inside now from Rice for Trossard. Onto the right hand side for Saka. Got Odegaard in the middle and Jesus at the back post as he takes it to the edge of the area. Goes back to Ben White. Ben White's got Rice alongside him. Chips it over for Saka into the area. Saka's ball back has been cleared. It's pinballed within the area and eventually been cleared by Doyle from the edge of the area. Saliba's going to be first to get there at the halfway line again. Back down the line this goes to White. White back to Rice inside. Rice's pass now to Havertz and back to White. Now to Saka. Saka on the right hand side still. It's onto his left foot. Pass goes to the edge of the area for Havertz. Havertz switches this to Trossard at the back post. It finds Jesus. Trossard's moved more central as Jesus goes down in the area. Quick back to his feet. It's forward to Trossard. He's put it into the corner and Arsenal take the lead after playing about with it inside of Wolves' area. Gabriel Jesus, who went down potentially hoping for a penalty, managed to keep possession whilst on the floor. Gives the ball to Trossard, who's averaging one goal every 218 minutes as a starter this season, adds to his tally for the season. And just before half-time, as we enter into the final minute of regular time of this first half, Leandro Trossard gives Arsenal a 1-0 lead. And while Wolves protest towards Paul Tierney, the goal is going to stand. Havertz with a chip ball over towards Jesus. There was calls from Wolves that maybe Doherty was fouled in the build-up to that, but it's a wonderful strike from Trossard as the ball fell to him about 17 yards out. Jesus did well to carry on playing to the whistle, and with the outside of the foot, Trossard just saw the ball curl into the top corner. It was always moving away from Sarr, who had himself positioned for a potential shot from Gabriel Jesus. But the visitors take the lead and continue their goal-scoring record at Molineux. It's Wolves 0, Arsenal 1. And 3 minutes of added time will be given at the end of this first half. And Wolves will get things back underway for us again, as the ball goes back to Doyle. Doyle tries to find the option on the right hand side, but Gabriel's equal to it again. As it's headed back in towards Arsenal's half, Gabriel's equal to it yet again. Every ball that is going in that direction is being dealt with by either the head of Saliba or from Gabriel at the moment. Arsenal have lost just once this season in games in the Premier League where they've scored first. And if that record continues in Arsenal's favour, they will go back to the top of the Premier League by close of play today. It's now with Odegaard. Ball onto the left hand side now, finds Jesus on the edge of the area. Onto his right foot, brings it into the area, gives it to Odegaard. The pass is too heavy, but it's just Odegaard gets there to win it back again. Now to White, to Rice. Rice now over onto the left hand side for Trossard, who goes back again to Havertz. And now for Rice, back to Havertz. He puts it out of play once again, and it's going to be a throw in as there's a player down once again for Arsenal. And it's inside their own half, and it is Bukayo Saka who's down at the moment, holding on to his shin and calf area. It looks like it may have been the way in which he landed, which is a bit more of a worry. He's back to his feet, but heading into the Euros. Saka, of course, one of the favourites for a call up to Gareth Southgate's squad, and maybe a starter on one of the wings for England. He's up against tough competition though at the moment, the likes of Phil Foden and Cole Palmer, of course, who've just gone head to head in the FA Cup semi-final, both fighting for a position on the wings. Almost a foregone conclusion that Jude Bellingham will be starting for that England side as long as he's fit and healthy, so it's who plays either side of him. As the throw-in is taken and the ball is played all the way back to David Raya, who waits for Hwang to close him down before he picks the ball up. And Saka is back to his feet and walking unassisted, able to continue in the game. As Raya drops the ball and kicks it out of his hands, and it nearly takes the touch off the back of Hwang, but gets all the way upfield once again. As the clearance from Doherty takes a bounce off of Gabriel Jesus, and Kilman gets to it, plays it to Sarr, who's had to go quickly across to Totti, who's under pressure from Saka. Saka gets there as well, keeps it in play. Saka plays the ball more central now into the area for Trossard. Trossard is surrounded by multiple Wolves players though, goes back towards the corner, tries to win his side a corner, and a goal kick has been given. We're reaching the halfway point and there's not been one corner in this game so far, and this time a Wolves goal kick has been given. Sal just puts it down, ready to take this. I think we are just seconds away from hearing the half-time whistle being blown by Paul Tierney, potentially just as Sar gets things back underway for us. Almost trying to contribute more support for Hwang. Sar steps up and takes this goal kick. There goes the half-time whistle at Molineux, and whilst Arsenal have dominated in possession, they've finally got Flash score where we're at Molineux for Wolves against Arsenal, ready for second half action, with Arsenal as it stands sat at the top of the Premier League table. Arsenal will get things underway for us on the whistle of Paul Tierney. If you are just joining us, it's Wolves 0, Arsenal 1, as the second half is underway, and it's played all the way back to David Raya, who plays it out short onto the right hand side for Ben White. Gives it to Saka, gets the ball back inside his own half, and plays it across now to Gabriel. Takes it up towards the centre circle and across again now to Saliba, to Ben White. Looks in the channel for Saka again, who brings the ball down comfortably, looks for the pass inside to Jesus. Jesus then tries to close down Traore, who manages to get the ball back to Kilman quickly enough and then passes it inside again to Doyle. Goes back to his goalkeeper. And now Sarr gets the ball inside his 6-yard box. And the clearance is made on the left hand side from Totti, and Arsenal get the ball back very quickly. And then looks for the through ball, does Ben White. And first to it again is Max Kilman, who goes back to his goalkeeper once again, and Wolves will try and rebuild from the back, something they've done a couple of times throughout the course of this game. Is now the pass onto the left hand side, is watched out of play for a throw in for Kivior to take at the halfway line. Wolves of course hitting the crossbar, but otherwise haven't really caused Arsenal too much stress at the back. They've been able to sit comfortably defensively. Saliba goes all the way back now to David Raya, passes it back out again to Gabriel, and back to Raya again just inside the area. And Raya's clearance out on to the middle has been headed away by Traore. And Arsenal will get the ball back, but now a free kick has been given to Wolves just inside their own half. Traore going up for the header, couldn't quite win it cleanly. Wins aside a free kick. It's been played shortly all the way back to Kilman again, who then goes back to Sarr once again. Sat comfortably in 11th place are Wolves. No relegation worries for them. Their season's practically over, but as the pass made there from Doyle is intercepted by Jesus, Arsenal with a chance inside Wolves' half. Goes back to Saliba, now across to Declan Rice. Rice onto the right hand side for Ben White. Then back to Rice again. That pass inside to Saliba, inside Wolves' half. Saliba goes back again to Rice. And back to Saliba, just playing about with the ball inside Wolves' half at the moment. They did that, getting the ball into the area, as now Saka gets the ball, looks for that through ball, manages to find Ben White, cross goes in towards the middle, looks in search of Trossard, who lands funny after going up to try and win the header, and a free kick has now been given for Ben White's run being a bit too early and him being caught offside, but Trossard still down on the floor, holding onto his knee inside Wolves' penalty area. Jumped up for the ball a bit too early and looks like he was actually going in for it with Gabriel Jesus, and I think looking at the replay, Ben White was actually in an onside position, so the flag's gone up, but I think he was onside. I'm just looking as Jesus has collided with Trossard, and Trossard's gone down to the floor, and as soon as he has, Jesus has put his arms up to call for some kind of assistance and support to make people aware that Trossard is hurt at the moment, but he's back to his feet. And now the free kick will be taken by Jose Sarr, who again punts this upfield, looks onto the right hand side to try and find in space Doherty, but Doherty misses the ball and forced all the way back to get the ball is Hwang, who goes back to his centre half Max Kilman. And Bueno gets the ball from him and goes all the way back to Sarr as Odegaard continues putting Sarr under pressure. That clearance has only gone as far as Saliba. Passes it inside now for Havertz to Odegaard. Odegaard's opened up on the edge of the area. Odegaard's effort's been blocked well by Kilman. Nearly falls to Jesus, but the lines have been cleared again. Still on the edge of the area with Havertz. Passes it across now to Ben White. Goes back to Saliba. Across to Gabriel inside the centre circle. Gabriel goes back to Saliba again. Now to Havertz. Havertz pass inside to Jesus. First touch towards Odegaard, being cleared again. Now to Saka. Saka loses out on the ball to Doyle. Doyle looks for the run to Wang, but he's gone in the opposite direction. It's gone all the way through to Gabriel again, who will get back possession for Arsenal and play down to the left-hand side for Kivior. Into Wolves half now, giving the ball to Trossard. Trossard goes back, and as the pass goes on to the left-hand side for Kivior, he's gone in for a 50-50 challenge and come out worse off. Won a free kick just inside his own half, and Wang will be the one that's in trouble for this, and he will receive a yellow card for it as well. So a yellow card for Hee-Chan Hwang. Joins the referee's book. And it was the trailing foot of Hwang, and I think the reaction of the Wolves striker says that he knew that it was a late challenge, and he's now, after a yellow card, going to be substituted. And that's the first change of the afternoon that's been made. He's going to be replaced by Mario Lamina. So Mario Lamina will come on for Hee-Chan Hwang. Free kick taken short by Gabriel. Across to Saliba. Now to Ben White. Ben White onto the right hand side for Saka. Takes it into Wolves territory and then forced to go back again to Ben White. Passes it central again. Now onto the left hand side. Gabriel's closed down and his clearance has taken a block from Lamina, who's come on and applied some energy immediately, playing in an attacking role. It's Chirera to go as a lone striker. We'll have the support either side from both Doyle and Lamina. Going on the left hand side for Arsenal though currently with Kivior. Going through the middle for Trossard. First touch takes it away from Doyle and plays it to Ben White, then to Saka, now to Trossard. He's got plenty of space to move into on that right hand side. He's quickly closed down though, still has it on the edge of the area, takes it into the area. It's still with Trossard, but back helping out and putting it out of play for a corner is Gomez. And it's now going to be the first corner of the afternoon, and it's going to go to the visitors. And now options are moving into the box, both Saliba and Gabriel making their way in there. It's going to be an in-swinging corner from Bukayo Saka out on the left-hand side. Ben White's in there, Kivior's in there, Kai Havertz. Not many teams can have their full back four inside the opposition area for a corner. Arsenal do. Short corner to Jesus, then back to Saka, now to Rice, into Odegaard. Effort's been blocked, fallen back to Odegaard again. Second effort's been blocked. It's gone to outside the area with Trossard, who plays it back onto the right hand side for Rice. Rice then to Saka. Saka gives it to Odegaard on the edge of the area. Saka continues his run, gives it to White instead. Quick football now, gives it back to Saka. Jesus making his way in as the clearance has been made. Still with Trossard on the edge of the area. Arsenal with very much ping balling the ball inside the area. And Wolves will clear the lines once again. Now with Rice. Over to Ben White on the right hand side again. Options in the middle. Goes towards Jesus all the way to the back post to Havertz, who looks like he's been held up. Nothing's been given on this occasion, but it's fallen to Kivior at the back post. Kivior still with the ball on the left hand side. He is closed down and under pressure there from Gomez, who wins the ball back. And Wolves will attempt to clear the lines once again, but it's won by Gabriel, and then it's back with Trossard. Now to Saka through the middle. Saka's gone down after Trossard's gone down, and a free kick's been given in the position of where Saka's gone down, and it's a much more dangerous position for Arsenal to apply this threat. Trossard goes down from a late challenge that's been made by Gomez, and then Traore with a late challenge of his own on Saka gives Arsenal a free kick in a very dangerous position, as once again Saliba and Gabriel are making their way up from the back. Saka available at the back post as Trossard, Odegaard and Rice all stood over the ball at the moment. Havertz has joined that group of Arsenal players, stood over the free kick, with the intention of making things very difficult for this Wolves defence. Looking at the goal difference in the Premier League, Arsenal of course have the better goal difference between them and Liverpool, but they also have it over them and Manchester City as it stands at the moment. So if it comes down to goal difference, it's almost like an extra point for Arsenal at the moment. It keeps them above Liverpool as Rice lays this off to Odegaard, gets the touch back and his effort's been blocked. Then White edges it back into the area. It's fallen to Havertz, whose effort takes a bit of a block and goes into the arms of Sarr, who again slows things down. Straight from the training ground was that free kick, but it didn't quite go how Arsenal may have planned. But they're quick on the break again as Odegaard gets it on the edge of the area. Gives it to Havertz. Havertz lines up an effort, left-footed effort's been blocked. It's going to go out of play for a corner as it just kept in play. Done well there as Sarr to keep that in play. It looked destined to go out of play. Had to get to it quickly as Havertz was closing it down. I don't think Bueno really had anywhere he could go with it. It is put out of play. And Wolves, as quickly as they get possession back, then lose it as Kivior gets the throw in on the left hand side, deep inside Wolves' half at the moment. Going short and he gets the ball back. Now to Trossard. Trossard to the edge of the area. Wonderful pass from him to Rice. Rice gives it to White. White lines things up, tries a through ball, and he goes out of play for a goal kick. It could have been a shot, it could have been a pass through, but Jesus and Havertz, who were both making their way into the area, couldn't quite get there quick enough, and it's out of play for a goal kick to Wolves. Wolves will get things going for us once again. Ben White just makes his way back into position. Started off as a centre-half when signing for Arsenal from Brighton, but transitioned quite nicely into a full-back. Plays predominantly at right-back for Arsenal. The goal kick is won again by an Arsenal player, and now a free kick has been given. It's Chirewe who's conceded the foul. Just inside Arsenal's half. Hasn't found his name into the referee's book just yet. And Kivior takes the free kick short. To Gabriel, across to Saliba. Saliba now down the line, finds Saka. Saka holding play up. Found Odegaard in space, down that right hand side. Odegaard's moved into space. He is closed down by Traore, who tries to hold him up and eventually trips Odegaard up. And Arsenal will have a free kick just inside Wolves' half now. He's eventually been fouled and brought to the floor. Odegaard with very good close control. Makes things difficult for players to time the tackles well, and on this occasion it's worked out in his favour as Saka now gets the ball and he's also up against Traore. Keeps the ball in play and nearly gets away from Traore. Wonderful challenge this time from the Wolves midfielder. Gives the ball off to Chirewe. His through ball looks like he's going to be offside. The flag goes up against Lemina just inside Arsenal's half. Mario Lemina where? And the free kick's been taken quickly by Arsenal. Play short now to Gabriel. Cross again now for Saliba. Pass inside for Rice. Rice lays the ball off for Saka, who goes back to White again inside his own half, then back to Saka by the touchline, now to Odegaard, inside to Jesus, back through to Odegaard. Pass is too heavy and quick to get there at the moment is Bueno, who goes all the way back to his goalkeeper. It was very close between him and Odegaard at that point, but the pass was too heavy from Jesus. Had it been a bit lighter, I think that was getting to Odegaard, and he was through on goal as well. The way the ball rolled, it was just moving away from the Arsenal midfielder. Now to Havertz. Havertz across to Odegaard. Now to Saka. Saka onto his right foot. Cross goes in towards the back post. It's headed away by Doherty. Jesus is there again just outside the area to get in on the left hand side. Jesus brings it in onto his right foot. Sets this up for Rice. Back to Jesus again. Cross goes in. It's been blocked. Cleared this time by Gomez. As far as the edge of the area. Up for the header and down goes Kivior. Referee's just pulled a halt to play because Kivior's gone down holding his head. And of course, a head injury, you have to stop play. Rightly so on this occasion. And it was the elbow there that came from Mario Lemina that caught the side of the face from Kivior. Referee's not giving a free kick for it. It's just part of the leaping action where you're trying to win a header. I think that sometimes these are just unfortunate incidents where the elbows are caught, but the free kick has been given. It was very late. The referee wasn't originally given a free kick. If it's a late decision that has been made. Odegaard has stood over it again with Kai Havertz. Arsenal players making their way once again back into the box. Odegaard now the only player stood over the ball for Arsenal as we reach the hour mark at Molineux. Saliba, Gabriel, all in the box at the moment. Trossard's an option for him down the line. Odegaard's cross goes in, headed on by Havertz. At the edge of the area, Jesus goes up to win it. It has been cleared though by Chirerwa. Headed back into Wolves half by Odegaard, brought down well by Jesus, who's gone down under the challenge and wins another free kick in a very dangerous position from the challenge of Gomez. Looks like Jesus may have received a high boot to around the chest area by Gomez at that point. Oh, he's actually caught him in the lip. And Jesus has gone down and he's banged his head on the floor as well. Looking good for the Arsenal striker. He did get caught at that point. He's going to get back to his feet though. I don't think the physio is going to come on, which is not something you usually see in scenarios where a head injury has taken place. Jesus is going to get back to his feet and he's going to be helped to his feet by the culprit. João Gomez, to make sure that he's okay. Stood over the ball now once again. Martin Odegaard. Arsenal are threatening to get themselves a second goal, which would surely see the end of the game. Wolves see themselves 7 points at the moment away from Manchester United in 7th place, so they're not too far away from getting themselves into European football. As Odegaard plays the free kick short, now across to Saka. Back to Odegaard again. Odegaard sends an effort goalwards, but once again it's a weak effort that's just dragged wide. It's going to be another goal kick to Wolves. Looking at the league table, it isn't mathematically impossible for them to get into Europe. It is unrealistic for them to be expected to get into Europe. And as for the relegation, they're currently 18 points clear of Luton. They sit down 18th place, so they find themselves safe. As we see, Iraola, the manager of Bournemouth, who Wolves face next in the stands. The ball is played all the way back to David Raya. His first touch clearance goes up towards Havertz and then Jesus. Havertz tries to get there again, but Max Kilman goes all the way back to his goalkeeper. He then clears this onto the left hand side. Forced to make a lot of clearances at the moment. And now we've got another Wolves player down, injured. Out on the left hand side, holding on to his calf area. He just put his arm up before the throw-in was taken, asking them to wait a moment as Ben White went up for the challenge with Bueno. And it is Hugo Bueno that's gone down. He's back up to his feet though, just stretching out the pain that he's got. Maybe that his legs just starting to cramp up. 63 minutes gone at Molineux. Wolves 0, Arsenal 1. And Arsenal back to the top of the Premier League as it stands, and will stay there the remainder of this weekend, whereas Arsenal take on Chelsea during the week, Manchester City take on Brighton. That's another chance there for Arsenal. And we could also have a favour from Wolves, who do have Manchester City and Liverpool yet to play. As the clearance is made from Gomez, it's come off of the shins of Trossard and out of play for a goal kick. And another Wolves goal kick that Sarr just takes his time with. Gary O'Neill's just issuing instructions to his players. They've done well to keep this Arsenal side at bay. They've threatened on more than the one occasion, and despite only having a 1-goal lead, Wolves have had some chances themselves. The goal kick is played straight out of play for a throw into Arsenal. It's taken quickly by White to Saka on the edge of the area. Saka gives the ball to Odegaard. Odegaard back to White as Saka moves into a central position. Saka tries to find Odegaard again. This time gives it to Rice. Rice chips it over to White at the back post, puts it across the face of goal. White's gone down, wanted a penalty or at least a corner, and it's gone out of play for a goal kick. It's going to be a goal kick again to Wolves. There's been plenty of times that's happened throughout the course of this game. should Arsenal feel the need to apply a higher press. They've still got the likes of Jorginho, who's still quite a solid midfield option, and Gabriel Martinelli, who of course has been quite a regular for Arsenal over the course of this season and last. Now Gomez gets the ball, plays it back to Totti, now to Kilman to Doyle, and now out onto the right hand side for Bueno. That's son of Santiago Bueno. Moves to Doherty, now back to Doyle. Long ball from Doyle is going to be chased down. He's gone down as well just outside the area at Chirero. He's wanting a free kick. He's not the only one that's gone down at that point. Saliba's gone down in the build-up too. The referee's given nothing for either player. Both told to get back to their feet, and Havertz walks out with the ball. Takes it to the halfway line, passes it across now to Rice. Rice onto the left-hand side for Kivior. Kivior's inside pass for Trossard is won back by Doherty. Goes back to his goalkeeper, and he clears his lines. Looks like maybe a formation change has taken place for Wolves at the moment. As now Chirero gets the ball. To the left hand side for Bueno. Back to Totti. Totti goes across to Kilman. Kilman's long pass onto the right hand side is going to go too heavy and too far for Doherty to get to, and it's going to be a throw in now for Arsenal on the left hand side. Chirero moves across to help try and close Arsenal's outlets from the back. Kivior with the throw-in. Down the line to Havertz. Havertz loses out on possession. It's now in the middle with Gomez. Gomez's pass has been taken, and then it's gone to Trossard. Gives the ball to Havertz, who loses out on possession again. It's back on the right-hand side now with Lamina. Lamina goes back to Doyle. And then Wolves win themselves a throw-in as Gabriel Jesus is back to dispossess Doyle, but has to concede a throw-in in the process. Doherty takes the throwing back to Bueno. Goes back to Kilman. And then all the way back to his goalkeeper again as Arsenal move forward in numbers once again to support any kind of attack they can find. Goes back to the keeper again as Havertz nearly gets the ball from Sarr, and it's gone to Bueno, and Havertz will try and get there first as well. Watch it out of play for a corner. It's not happened. And he's cleared it to Doherty on the right hand side. Now it's a throw into Arsenal, and Sarr, who tried to clear his lines, it was closed down by Kai Havertz. And this heavy press from Arsenal really is forcing Wolves into some errors. Can Arsenal capitalise on any of those? Going deep inside Wolves half now with Kivior. Kivior throws over the top to Havertz. Now to Trossard inside the area. Twists and turns, gives it to Rice, now to Jesus. Still inside the area, finds Havertz. Cross towards the back post, no Arsenal players are there. There's going to be a chance to clear the lines for Chirero. Instead goes back to Totti, who again is under pressure inside their own half. Kilman now will get rid of it. It's headed on by Bueno, but collected again by Ben White. Goes inside to Havertz, who goes down under a challenge from Gomez and wins a free kick inside Wolves' half again. Wolves just can't seem to get the ball into Arsenal's half at this point. Paul Tierney is calling for the free kick to be taken for a second time. It's now with Rice. Stood over the ball. Goes short this time for Saliba. Odegaard was making the run into the channel, instead goes short to Saka and gets the ball back. Goes back to White by the touchline. And White goes back inside to Gabriel. Now across to Kivior. Kivior now to Trossard. Tackle made by Doherty. Now it's with Gomez. Gomez has space to move into Arsenal's half, out onto the left hand side. Still in Arsenal's half at the moment, taking it towards the edge of the area. A couple of step overs have been done by Bueno. His cross has been blocked though. Saka's there quickly. Bueno goes down in the area, nothing given. Chip ball over by Chirero, and it's gone into the arms of a grateful David Raya, who's out to claim it. Looked for a moment like Wolves were going to start to create something. They are just biding their time, waiting for those opportunities to arise, and it's how Arsenal are going to deal with it defensively. As Kivior sends this into the channel for Jesus to chase. Goes down under the challenge and no free kick given. Doherty goes back central. Pass made now to Traore. Traore to Totti. Now to Doyle. Inside Wolves half at the moment. Doyle again looking for those channelled passes. He's found Traore. Back to Doherty. Now Traore had to go back to Doyle. Inside Arsenal's half. Doyle passes it back onto the right hand side for Traore. And now for Kilman. Kilman gives it to Doherty. Back to Kilman. Kilman looks for that through ball for Lemina. It's a wonderful through ball, but Lemina's on his own, just outside the area with not much support at all. He brings it inside. Left-footed effort, saved by Raya. He was onside as well. It's a wonderful pass from Max Kilman to find the run there of Lemina. Arsenal's defence were just caught napping, and Wolves can't make them pay on this occasion. He brought it onto his left foot, and Wolves were piling forward in numbers, but they were late to get there. And Arsenal have a chance at the other end. Ball forward from Saka, finds Havertz. Havertz takes it past one. Ball falls back to him again. This time the shot's been saved, and the flag's gone up for offside. It's going to be a free kick to Wolves inside their own area. And it was a very late pass from Saka. Brings the ball inside, and it's just caught up in the feet of Totti that fell again to him. His effort was saved from close range by Sarr. And then the flag goes up as I think we're going to see the first Arsenal change of the afternoon. And it is going to be the goal scorer for Arsenal, Leandro Trossard, that makes way. I expect it's going to be Gabriel Martinelli that comes on in his place. That's exactly what it's going to be. So Trossard leaves the game, and in his place we will see the introduction of Gabriel Martinelli. A like-for-like change on that left-hand side that doesn't even weaken this Arsenal side, which shows when they have got a rather fit side. They've got quite a lot of strength in depth. And Kilman gets the ball from the free kick to Doherty. Clearance blocked from Kivior, and every pass that's been made by Wolves is a forced clearance from them defensively. They've got another couple of changes ready to be brought on in a few moments' time. Harry O'Neill just issuing the final instructions to them, as on the right hand side the throne's been taken by Doherty into Arsenal's half, held up by Lemina, waiting for support, gives it to Doherty, switched out onto the left hand side. Saka's quick to it, and it's forced to go back by Bueno to Totti inside Wolves half now. Totti plays the ball across to Kilman, now to Doherty, and back to Bueno. And now to Doyle, inside the centre circle. Doyle onto the right hand side for Bueno. Bueno finds Doherty. Doherty again goes central, this time for Doyle. And Doyle inside the centre circle, still waiting for more support, plays it across to Kilman. He's got options pushing forward, but none that are clear passes. Forced to go across to Totti. Arsenal defending with everybody in their own half at the moment as we enter into the final 20 minutes as Kilman gets the ball. Passes it to Doyle. Doyle deep inside Arsenal's half now. They're just forcing Arsenal to move back with the ball. They are standing off at the moment, as this time Doherty's pass is blocked out by Jesus. He goes back to Kivior. Uses David Raya, who's under pressure and has to get rid of the ball on the first attempt. Up towards Havertz, who heads it on for Saka, and he's beaten to the ball by Totti. Goes across to Kilman. Kilman's pass now back to Doyle. Wolves will feel they're still in with a chance at the moment as they're camped inside Arsenal's half as Doyle gets the ball. Doherty had made an overlapping run, but Doyle opted to keep onto the possession for a bit longer as Kilman gets it and plays it across this time to Totti. Back to Kilman. Kilman now sideways to Bueno. Bueno to Doyle. Doyle's got space to move into. Doyle now from about 20 yards out. Back to Doherty on the right hand side. Cross has been blocked. It's out of play for a corner, and we'll get our first Wolves corner of the evening. It's going to be out on the right hand side, and Wolves have been pushing and pushing to force this Arsenal side back, and now they have a chance to do something with it. And now the second change is going to be made, and it will be Tawanda Chiwere that leaves the game as one of those changes. and he is going to be replaced by Pablo Sarabia, another player who was unexpected within this game after an injury, and so was Ryan Aït-Nouri, and he's going to be coming on as well to make up those changes for Wolves. Now they've got a corner to defend to attack, with Arsenal defending. In swinging corner from the right hand side, goes in towards the middle. Raya changes his mind about coming out for it. It's been headed to the edge of the area. It's with Totti. Totti tries to beat his man and send his effort goalwards, but it's going to sail wide and it's out of play for a goal kick. So just confirmation of those changes for Wolves. Matt Doherty is off and Ryan Aït-Nouri is on, and Pablo Sarabia is on, and Tawanda Chiwera is off. That's 3 changes done by Wolves. Still trying to capitalise on this good spell they've got at the moment. Raya's clearance is a weak one. Looks like he was off balance when making it, but it's still finding its way through to Havertz. Gives the ball to Gabriel, back to Kivior. Down the line, looks for the run there of Martinelli. Martinelli gives it to Havertz. There's it back central now for Rice. Onto the right hand side for Saka. Saka's still got Ben White making an overlapping run. Saka's cross comes in, headed by Havertz. It's only gone as far as the chest of Kilman, who had to react quickly to get rid of the ball and not handle it inside the area. He has cleared his lines, but it's still with Arsenal on the left hand side. Now to Martinelli, brings it inside. Martinelli switches this onto the right hand side. Ben White gets to it as well. He's got Saka down the line for him. And White goes back to Saliba, to Rice, then Saliba. Across to Gabriel. Gabriel at the halfway line. Goes back to Saliba again. Now onto the right hand side for White. Down the line for Saka, heads it into the middle, goes back to the goalkeeper, but he's under pressure from Jesus, and so has to clear it quickly. Back up towards the halfway line, brought down this time by Gomez, but Arsenal quick to put him under enough pressure to win possession back. It's back with Saliba. Deep inside their own half, Saliba gives it to Gabriel as Wolves seem to just stand off at the moment. Gabriel goes all the way back to David Raya, who is now being closed down. Onto the right hand side. Pass goes to White. Lovely first touch football from Arsenal. Finds Saka on the right hand side. Back to White again. Looks down the line for Jesus. Kilman goes up for the ball as well. Heads it back into the middle, but deals with the danger well. This time the pass is intercepted, and it's been a threaded through pass to Jesus, who's still on the ball. As he tries to turn on it, Kilman gets the ball back, and now Wolves have a chance to break themselves. It's a break with Doyle. Takes it into the opposition half, passed into the middle. First touch is excellent, into plenty of space at the moment is Lamina. Now into the area on the right hand side for Doyle, sends it into the middle. And first to it is Raya. He's looking for the run of Lamina. Passes it onto the right hand side for Gomez, then finds the overlapping run of Doyle, whose cross can't quite find Lamina again. Raya puts the ball back down to his feet. Waits for any Wolves pressure really. Nobody's coming to him. He's able to take the ball to the edge of his area before anybody even tries to close him down. And the pass eventually goes out onto the left hand side for Gabriel. Now for Kivior. By the touchline. Kivior's ball down the line. Looks for Martinelli, who's going to battle at that point with Aït-Nouri. Aït-Nouri gets away with the ball and continues running deep into Arsenal's half. He's got no support around him. Goes into the area. Aït-Nouri just too much on it though. It's out of play for a goal kick. He's done well. He shouldn't have got that far, and Gabriel's making it clear to the midfield that he shouldn't have got that far. He got the ball inside his own half and just ventured into Arsenal's area with it. And Gabriel got in between the player and the ball and watched it out of play for a goal kick. And now we are going to see Thomas Partey being introduced to the game for Arsenal. And he's going to be coming on in place of Gabriel Jesus. So I can only assume that means Kai Havertz will move into a striker's role. And Partey will sit in the midfield three alongside Odegaard and Rice. It's another defensive-minded player, as Kai Havertz was the attacking-minded player. Allows Havertz to move into a lone striker with Saka and now Martinelli either side of him. We're going to the final 10 minutes of the game, plus whatever extra time Paul Tierney decides to go with. Goal kick taken. Havertz flicked on. Falls in the end to Saka, who looks for the ball out onto the left hand side, but a free kick's been given against Odegaard this time. And just inside Wolves' half, it is going to be taken. They're trying to take it quickly, but Havertz has stood over the ball and cut out any option of that happening for Wolves. And Doyle goes back this time to Kilman. Kilman with the ball inside his own half. Onto the left hand side now for Totti. Back to Kilman. Now to Totti again outside the area, goes back to his goalkeeper. And Sarr will take the ball outside the area before Arsenal apply any real pressure. That ball upfield again puts Arsenal's defence under pressure, and it's gone all the way through to David Raya. And he looks for Martinelli, but it's gone out of play for a Wolves throw-in. Now with Doyle at this halfway line. Passes it across to Kilman. As Kilman takes it into Arsenal's half. Gives it to Totti. And back to Kilman. It goes back into now Wolves' half. Kilman's through ball is watched out by Gabriel, and he had to get there first because it was a run from Lamina that was gifted another chance to Wolves. Arsenal just making sure that they are staying switched on defensively. Wolves making sure that they're going to need to. As Doyle's pass this time goes to Lamina. He's laid this ball off, wanted it back quickly, but instead it's gone to Traore, who's passed out onto the left hand side for Bueno. Bueno goes back to Totti. Wolves really starting to find their stride at the moment as Doyle switches this onto the right hand side. In space it now is Aït-Nouri. Aït-Nouri tries to beat Kivior. Kivior eventually gets the foot in and wins possession back, and it's now with Martinelli, who goes all the way back to Rice, who is under pressure by 3 Wolves players, and wins his side a throw-in deep inside their own half. Martinelli was forced to go back as well with the pass. Gary O'Neill just applauding his players. He's quite happy with what he's seen from them up against the potential Premier League champions of this season. A side that is known for scoring quite well, but has managed 5 up to now consecutive clean sheets away from home, hoping that this will be their 6th. As Wolves, known for scoring quite a few goals at home at Molineux, might try and add to that now. Wins a free kick just inside their own half at the moment. Odegaard is furious as he's the one that's conceded the free kick. It was a great challenge on Sarabia. And they've managed to really keep possession inside Arsenal's half, much better than they have done in the previous 78 minutes. These last 5 minutes have very much been Wolves controlling things inside Arsenal's half. Not really created any good or clear-cut chances. It's been taken short. Kilman puts the ball into the box. Raya's out to claim it, and he's landed awkwardly on top of a Wolves player, and it is Lamina that's gone down, holding on to his stomach area as Raya's come out, and it was quite a bit of acrobats between Raya and Lamina. I think it's the way he's landed might just have taken the air from his lungs at the point. Wasn't any foul in it, as now the physio has been called on just to check that Lamina is okay. I think he was landed on by Raya as well. Gary O'Neill's quick to his feet just to find out if everything is okay with Lamina. Seems to have nodded, so I think he's got the impression that he's good to carry on. Lamina was pounding at the floor as soon as he did hit the ground, indicating quite clearly that he is in some discomfort. Next 5 games for Arsenal in the run into the end of the Premier League season. At home to Chelsea midweek, then they've got Spurs away, and at home to Bournemouth, then away to Manchester United, and then they end the season at home to Everton in a title battle with Liverpool, who make the trip to Wolves, to Molineux in their final game of the season. So Some assistance could be given to Arsenal to try and ruin the Jurgen Klopp final season. Back to his feet now is Lemina. He's struggling to his feet. Seems to be in some pain at the moment as Paul Tierney has taken the ball off of the hands of David Raya. It looks like he'll just drop the ball to the Arsenal goalkeeper once things are able to resume, but first and foremost it's just checking that Lemina is okay. And as Lemina is slowly making his way to behind the goal, holding on to his ribs and his back, David Raya has just checked on the Wolves substitute just to make sure that he's okay, as it's Kilman's ball in, and it's certainly the landing that has done in Lemina. He's back to his feet and ready to get things back underway as Raya rolls this ball out now to White. White to Saka. Saka inside now to with Partey under pressure. Partey loses out on possession only momentarily though, as quick to get to it is Gabriel again. Gives it to Kivior, goes back to Raya. Raya's clearance is scuffed and it's out of play for a throw in on the right hand side now for Wolves, just in front of the technical area. Across to take it is Aït-Nouri. Throws it to Doyle. Back to Bueno. Across to Kilman. Now back into Arsenal's half. Now to Doyle on the right hand side. Pearl's got space to move into. Puts a cross into the box, but that's a very poor cross. Very heavy and out of play for a goal kick to Arsenal. As we enter into the final 3 minutes of the game. Wolves 0, Arsenal 1, and as it stands Arsenal will go back to the summit of the Premier League for the weekend. And Manchester City do play their game in hand. It will be all eyes on the top of the Premier League. We've still got 5 games left to go, and it promises to be an entertaining roller coaster to bring things to a close. As David Raya sends his Arsenal players up to the halfway line ready for this goal kick. And on the left hand side goes to Martinelli. Header has been won by Bueno, and it looks like it was going out of play for a throw-in, and it has gone out of play for a throw-in, but instead a free kick is being given against Kai Havertz for the challenge on Bueno, who won the header, and the referee says that this is due to an elbow that Havertz used into the side of the face of Bueno. And the free kick's played by Doyle. Taking it into Wolves half. Aït-Nouri chases down on the right-hand side, but Kivior's equal to it. His pass goes to Martinelli, who is under pressure there from Gomez and wins a free kick going down under the challenge from Gomez. Just inside Arsenal's half. It's going to be a free kick again to Arsenal. Stood over the ball at the moment is Gabriel. Just wasting a few more seconds. None of the back four or the goalkeeper for Arsenal are on a yellow card at the moment, and now it is David Raya that's going to come out and take the free kick. Just allowing a bit more time to be wasted. Arsenal will just be happy to take the 3 points. The urgency that they had to try and get things underway left just a couple of moments ago. Aït-Nouri gets the ball on the right hand side, surrounded by both Bukayo Saka and Gabriel Martinelli. It's come off of the foot of Saka and out of play for a throw-in on the right hand side. Aït-Nouri plays it short to Kilman. Kilman's clearance is a poor one and it goes to Thomas Partey. Now across to Saliba. Saliba to White. White all the way back again to Raya. Raya distributes this onto the left hand side for Martinelli. Excellent first touch from him, but Aït-Nouri puts it out of play for another throw-in on the left hand side for Arsenal, just inside Wolves' half. And Kivior's across to take it again. Martinelli's down the line, Havertz is down the line. Declan Rice is another option. Just going to see what the referee's decision here is. Just slowing things down as he's talking to Martin Odegaard. Just, I think he's giving him the instructions of his side time wasting as Kivior's throw goes into the channel to be chased down by Havertz. Kilman, who takes a touch with his head, is forced to put it out of play for a throw-in before it goes out of play for a corner, and deep inside Wolves' half on the left-hand side by the corner flag. Arsenal will have themselves a corner. There's been plenty of times where players have gone down to the floor, so we'll see just how much added time is going to be given as Arsenal start to hold on to possession in the corner. We will have 6 minutes of added time here at Molineux for Arsenal to hold on to things. And a throw-in as Kiwior comes across to take it by the corner flag. Throw goes into the box. Headed away as far as the edge of the area. Partey goes up for the header. Won back this time by Saliba, who tries to battle on that right-hand side. Brings down to the floor a Wolves player, and a free kick's being given. It's Lamina that was brought down. Aït-Nouri takes the free kick quickly and gets the ball back on the right-hand side. Now to Doyle. Doyle goes back to his goalkeeper, just inside the area. And Sarr plays it onto the left-hand side now for Kilman. Now to Traoré. Nearly intercepted, but Totti's there again. And then to Traoré. This time he is intercepted as Saka's got it on the right-hand side. In space as well. Takes it into the area. Saka onto his left foot. Dribbles it further into the area. And his right-footed effort just takes a toe poke and goes wide. He did the hard part of dribbling past multiple Wolves players to get into the area, but couldn't direct his effort on target. Got the ball quite wide as well. Brought it inside into the area. Got it past two players, and then as the third one came running in, tried his effort and it went wide. It's going to be a Wolves goal kick. Goal kick headed away. Now it's with Rice on the left-hand side. Rice takes it into the area, plays it across the face of goal, and it's pushed out of play this time by Totti. No Arsenal players were gambling in the box, and they're going to have their second corner of the evening. Another chance for them to do something with it as Rice made a break down the left-hand side, played it across the face of goal. Very dangerous ball as well as he won it back in the middle of the park. Doyle couldn't quite catch up with him, and all it needed was an Arsenal player in there, whether it's Martinelli or Saka. Both were in the box, neither in the right place at the right time, and it was forced out of place by Totti. And Saka will now have a left-footed in-swinging corner to take. Odegaard goes short for the ball. Saka plays it to Odegaard. Odegaard back to Saka. Takes it into the area. Saka lays up a shot for Rice, sends it goalwards. It's been punched away and cleared eventually by Gomez. Headed back into the area by Ben White. Now it's with Saka. Onto his left foot, out the edge of the area, effort's been blocked, back to Doyle. Doyle then clears his lines. Into Arsenal's half it goes. Ben White goes all the way back to Raya again. Now to Partey. Onto the left hand side for Martinelli. Chasing down is Havertz. First touch is too heavy and it gets away from Havertz. It's only just kept in play by Kilman. He's done very well, but Aït-Nouri's dribble inside is dispossessed again by Rice, and Aït-Nouri goes back in for the challenge. It's out of play for an Arsenal throw-in on the left-hand side. As Declan Rice is awarded the man of the match, and rightly so. It's been a phenomenal performance from him, just linking things up between this midfield and attack, as well as doing his defensive duties and nearly contributing at the other end just then, as now he finds Gabriel Martinelli, whose effort's been saved well by Sarr. But again, Wolves have the chance to clear their lines. Martinelli gets it on the right-hand side and dribbles it inside. And it's the outstretched palm that stopped the lofted pass from Martinelli going into the back of the goal, and it's gone through to Raya, who plays it short now to Saliba. To Rice. Back to Partey. Now Gabriel. Now to Ben White on the edge of the area. Uses Bukayo Saka. Saka back to White again. And Gabriel down the line for Odegaard. Rolls up play. And then Saka. Now for Partey. Partey onto the left hand side now for Rice. Rice in space. Has space to move to the edge of the area here for Wolves. Gives the ball off to Havertz. Now there's another chance across the face of goal. It's fallen back instead, and it's finished on the second attempt by Odegaard. And that is the game put to bed by Arsenal as they started to make their way forward with Declan Rice. He played it over one onto the right-hand side for Kai Havertz, whose first effort was blocked. He gave the ball then to Odegaard, and from the acute of angles, played it across the face of goal into the far corner to make it Wolves 0, Arsenal 2. And that should very much just give all 3 points to the visitors. They continue their streak away from home. They continue their streak at Molineux. And they go back. More importantly, they go back to the top of the Premier League table. Declan Rice with space to move into, found Kai Havertz, who gave the ball to Odegaard. He tried for the pass across the face of goal. It was blocked. And then from the most acute of angles, almost by the touchline, managed to catch Sarr at his near post. And the ball just went across to the far post. Wolves 0, Arsenal 2. Into the last minute of added time, Arsenal will return to the top of the table. And it may well be another clean sheet for Mikel Arteta and his side, that are finding form at the right time on both sides of the field, and they need it with some very difficult games upcoming. Chelsea and Spurs in the space of 7 days. They needed the 3 points today. They needed to be able to rest some players in preparation for two of the toughest games of the season. And we know when Derby Day hits this time next week, anything can happen. The form book is very much out the window. You could even call the game against Chelsea a derby for Arsenal. The 6 minutes of added time have been played. Just wait for the whistle now of Paul Tierney. As the throw-in's taken on the right-hand side by Ben White. It goes down the line for Havertz. Chested this down now for Partey. Finds Declan Rice. Rice's through ball, takes a ricochet, and now it's fallen through even still for Martinelli. A chance for Arsenal, and Martinelli chips it into the hands of Sarr. A chance for Arsenal to go 3 to the good at that point. And now the full-time whistle will go. It is finished at Molineux. Wolves 0, Arsenal 2. They return back to the top of the Premier League courtesy of a goal from Leandro Trossard. A wonderful finish with the outside of his foot. Just drifts the ball into the top corner as it sailed away from Jose Sarr. Wolves stood valiantly defensively while still creating the chances in Arsenal's half. For the sake of around about 10 minutes, at around about 78-minute mark, Wolves were pretty much camped inside Arsenal's half, but they couldn't do anything with it. And it was Martin Odegaard, the captain of Arsenal, that scored the second goal in the final moments of the game. It is finished at Molineux with Arsenal back to the summit.